All right, folks, welcome back to Aiden and I's podcast. So today we're kind of just talking about, the crazy ending, absolute crazy ending of Hamlet.
Yep.
I mean, seriously, like, what even happens? I mean, I feel like everyone's dying. I feel like, some plans are working, some plans aren't working. I mean, what's your take on this end, Aiden?
As you just said, everything goes down. It's kind of like once you hit the final act, all bets are off, and everyone's pretty much dropping like flies. And Hamlet's been talking about revenge the entire play, and then boom, he finally actually goes for it, and everything's kind of in a mess.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I mean, so we got this fencing match between Hamlet and Loraides.
Yep.
Yeah, Hamlet's there, he's ready to do it. And we kind of got Claudius here, like, with a huge plan to, take care of Hamlet. Basically just, poisoning the swords, getting for a backup plan, poisoning the wine, just in case something goes wrong. Don't you think it's overkill much?
Yeah. Seriously, it's kind of like, you really want Hamlet dead that badly, right? And then, of course, everything goes wrong. Gertrude ends up actually drinking that poison wine by accident, and she honestly just did it when she was trying to be nice. And just trying to be, toast Hamlet's success and all that, and then, she's gone.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like Hamlet's almost like totally just like clueless about the whole thing. I mean, you gotta expect something. He's kind of just like he's vibing with the match, having fun with Loraides, trying to kill him basically, and he turns around, he's like, oh shoot, my mom's dead. Like,
yeah,
he's like, wait, what? It's just like. It's kind of sad, actually.
I kind of almost wish you could, put it in a lighter sense, but, that's, it's kind of how it is. It's pretty blunt. And, actually, as a matter of fact, from the Afterlife, we have a guest, Queen Gertrude. Queen, are you expecting it to unfold? Welcome back, everybody, from that extremely short intermission. But now we have here, from the Afterlife, Queen Gertrude.
How's it going, everybody? Aiden, Nick, thanks for having me on your podcast. Can't wait to get started. Kind of wish it was under better circumstances, but it is what it is. Things happen.
Yeah, so to start, I think we pretty much have to talk about that poisoned wine moment. How did you not see that coming?
Well, honestly, Aiden, I didn't think anything bad would happen. I'm celebrating my son Hamlet. I'm just trying to support him. Be a good mom, but surprise, surprise, we're in a Shakespeare book, so it's gotta be poison. Big mistake.
Yeah, it's totally brutal. How did you feel about Claudius? Did you know he was, a murderer? I wish I could put it under better circumstances.
No.
He was your husband, but he was a murderer.
Understood. Honestly, I had no idea. He was charming at first, and I should have seen it. I really should have seen it. I was so caught up in my own grief and just so worried about myself that, it's crazy. He killed my ex-husband. I should have seen it. I take the blame for that one. Yeah.
Wow. Hamlet, things got pretty strained between you two. In terms of Hamlet, how do you think he felt about everything?
Well, to be honest, I think he felt betrayed.
Yeah.
Definitely felt betrayed. I didn't really get it at the time, but I feel like looking back now, in the afterlife, I kind of get it, but honestly, in the moment, I didn't really know how to fix things. I didn't know what to do. I had to be a good mom, but it's heartbreaking. It truly is heartbreaking.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be the first one to say thank you for sharing, Gertrude. To come here while, being peacefully resting in your eternal resting place, just to be here is amazing, and your story is wild.
Yes, it is. It's been a tragic ride, but, I just hope people learn from their mistakes and try to be, less selfish and live in the moment.
Thanks again for being here, Gertrude. And thank you to everybody listening. We'll catch you next time. But it's not quite the end of the podcast, just the end of Gertrude's time here. Nick and I are now back here with each other speaking on this topic. And to be completely honest, Gertrude's death was tragic for sure. And then the real kicker is that Hamlet ends up getting hit with that poisoned sword.
Yeah.
And it's almost kind of like, Hamlet was, finally ready to do something. And then, bam, he's poisoned. And at that point, it's kind of just almost like the universe said, you kind of maybe should have acted sooner.
Right. And I can back that. I mean, I feel like Hamlet, he's all like, oh, like, I'm going to go avenge my dad, like, get Claudius back for everything that he did. And then, boom, out of nowhere, he's dying too. Like, I mean, he being Hamlet, I mean, you can't expect that. But then, you have Laertes over here, he's like, who also got poisoned. I mean, he gets stabbed by his own poison and basically kills himself. And it's crazy. I mean, unexpected.
Yeah. I mean, to be completely honest, the entire thing, entire interaction, entire fight, entire battle, whatever you want to kind of call that, it's a mess. And Laertes ends up getting stabbed with his own poisoned sword because Hamlet is kind of he's pretty much saying, switch swords, which it's kind of a plot twist, right? I mean, you would agree with that, correct?
I mean, seriously. Like at this point, it's like who's gonna survive? I don't know. Like honestly, but Hamlet, I mean, he finally kills Claudius. So hooray for him. I mean, it's like all right, cool. Like you got your revenge, but I mean, it's a little late, don't you think, Aiden?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is late because he waited so long, and he is poisoned at this point. Everybody's almost poisoned at this point. Gertrude from the wine, of course. But, Claudius is dead. Hamlet's dying. His mother's dead. And the kingdom is basically, at this point, falling apart. There's nobody to even, be the heir to the throne. But, it's kind of like, Hamlet, nice job. You did it. But now there's nothing left of the kingdom.
Oh, and, pretty sure, our next guest is coming up soon. Claudius.
Oh my gosh.
I think it is Claudius.
From the Afterlife. He's here with the podcast.
All right, welcome back, everyone. So today we have a very special guest, King Claudius. Thank you for coming, and come join the set.
How art thou?
Good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. So sorry that your plan didn't work out. Sorry that you're here right now, but honestly, what I want to talk about is your original plan, starting from the death or killing of Hamlet's father. So talk me through that.
Well, throughout my entire life, I had always been envious of my brother, Hamlet. And he had taken the throne of Denmark, in Denmark, I should say. And he had also always kind of throughout my entire life had been the prize child almost. And, when I had seen that happening, I had to take care of him. And I ended up taking his wife too. And to be completely honest, when you see after I had killed King Hamlet and taken his place, his son, Hamlet, was always skeptical of me. He believed I had done it, and he had actually seen the ghost of his father. The ghost of his father had actually told him to avenge him and come after me. And, when it comes to those accusations, did I kill him? Did I not kill him? Yeah, I did. And I took his girl, too. So, when you look at it in the eyes of me, maybe I'm dead, but I'm really the winner here because Hamlet's dead and his father's dead.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there, Claudius. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Sorry, I'm the one wearing the crown. He's not.
Now forming process. So we're going to talk about this. Gertrude, your wife, ultimately, you killed her. Thoughts on that? Did you mean for that to happen? How you felt after? Talk me through.
So the wine that she had drinking, it was poisoned by, of course, myself. And when I say it like that, it does seem like I had done it on purpose almost, but
yes.
It was not meant to kill her. You know, the amazing woman that she is, she ended up drinking that to kind of be a toast, and she ended up dying from it. You know, it's something that I regret, and actually, everyone's dead now, so, you know, it's just truly unfortunate. I did not mean for that to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you very much, King Claudius, ex-King Claudius, for joining our podcast, and it's great hearing your story. Thank you for sharing, and enjoy your life in the afterlife.
Will do. Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Aiden and I's podcast. You know, that was a great interview. King Claudius, you know, shared many stories, shared his point of view, and now I kind of want to talk about Horatio almost. I mean, he's basically the only guy who survives. You know, he's the one who's going to tell the tragic story to everyone who asks. And honestly, this guy, Fortinbras, I mean, he does nothing the whole book. You don't even know him. He walks in. This random dude from Norway walks in, who's just like, all right, I'm gonna take over now. Like, all right, like I guess it's your kingdom now. Like everyone's dead. You don't gotta work for it, I guess. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Fortinbras, you're completely right in that he kind of just comes in and says, cool, I'm going to take the throne while everybody else is dead. And to be completely honest, he's able to because everybody else isn't there. He's able to, you know, he's the only one that's left to pick up the pieces of that kingdom. And, you know, while he does, you know, kind of pick up a few pieces, it kind of feels like the kingdom is empty.
Yeah. No, definitely. And honestly, it kind of feels like Hamlet's whole life and, you know, this revenge plan, you know, kind of led to nothing. I mean, he fixed nothing. And now the kingdom is just not his. It's gone. It's ruined. It's almost, all right, think about it like this. It's kind of like a big reminder that, I mean, getting what you want doesn't always fix everything. Like, you're not going to get everything you want. And even if you get what you want, killing Claudius, getting revenge, it does not fix everything, especially in this instance. Everyone's dead. I mean,
I totally agree with that. And, you know, it's almost, you know, you can see in how Shakespeare truly, you know, knew the human condition. And he knew it far before anybody in his time, really.
Yeah.
And, you know, to get back to the book here, Hamlet's been so obsessed with revenge, and when he finally gets it, everything's destroyed. So, you know, his entire point was kind of, you know, I'm going to do this for my dad, but he pretty much just ended up, you know, screwing the entire kingdom.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like that's what makes Hamlet so crazy. I mean, it's not just the revenge. It's about how when you're so focused on something, you're so focused on it, just this one thing, you know, you could kind of end up losing everything else. This one thing just ruins everything. I mean, I feel like Hamlet definitely could have stopped at any point and really just ended it, been like, let's forget about it, let's try to live our lives and stay alive. But nope, you know, I guess not. I guess, you know, he just kept pushing forward for this one thing that he wanted and basically just wrecked everything. It's truly sad, but that's what happens in our minds, you know?
Yeah, I mean, Hamlet, the story of he and his entire kingdom is, you know, you can kind of see it as a cautionary tale. And, you know, it's, you know, and you know, in the ending of Hamlet, you know, you even see that more. People die, Hamlet gets his revenge, but in the end, it's too late, and the kingdom is all messed up.
No, yeah, and that's really why we keep coming back to it. Like, the whole mess that occurred, it's kind of a reminder that, you know, life is messy. It really is. And honestly, like, he didn't fix anything. He didn't fix anything, you know, and sometimes revenge just doesn't work out. You know, you just can't win sometimes. You can't win. Can't win.
Yep. I mean, you know, as I, you know, stated earlier, it does, really go in depth about, not only life back then, but it can connect to life today. And so our last guest is the man, the myth, the legend, Hamlet himself.
Wow. I can't wait to interview him.
Let's bring him in here.
All right, folks, welcome back. Today we have probably the most special guest of the evening, Hamlet himself. Hamlet, welcome to the Afterlife. How are you feeling?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me, Nick.
Of course.
Although, honestly, I'm not quite sure how I ended up here myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny, but also tragic at the same time. So, spoiler alert, you died. I'm sure you weren't expecting it, but let's talk about it. So, why'd you take so long? What was with all the delays? You could have killed Claudius way earlier.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about it a lot. I couldn't rush it, and it was something that I had been thinking about, since my father had died. His ghost speaking to me, telling me to take my revenge on Claudius, his own brother, who had killed him. And, it's almost... I could not have rushed it. And, although I didn't quite get the result that I wanted in the end, Claudius died.
Yep.
I did too, but I know for a fact that if I had rushed it, I don't think I would have gotten a different outcome.
Okay, agreed. So, what's the deal with your mom, Gertrude? Definitely didn't seem to like her new marriage, so let's hear it.
Ugh. I mean, she just moved on so fast. And, I just couldn't handle it. And then, seeing her with my father's brother, my own uncle, my own blood, had, it really angered me. And I loved her. I just hated the situation.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about, the main revenge, Claudius. Alright, this is kind of like I don't know if you're gonna like this question, but were you ever tempted to, join him almost? Be the king? What are your thoughts on that?
Join him? Never. I mean, he was the man that had killed my father, and I wasn't going to be like him. He was always shady. So,
yeah.
The answer to your question, no, and I had to do what I had to do, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, perfectly understood. So, last question here. Looking back at, everything that happened, would you have done anything differently, honestly?
Well, anything differently?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I should have talked more.
Okay.
But, the entire revenge thing doesn't really come with a manual.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, no, thank you very much for joining our podcast and being here. It means a lot. This whole play's about you, so, it's pretty special to have you here, but, sorry this happened. Sorry you couldn't get your revenge, all of your revenge, and stay alive, but, you did great, so be proud. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Okay, so, I mean, Nick got that amazing opportunity to interview Hamlet from the Afterlife.
It's very cool.
Afterlife. And, that pretty much concludes it all. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for hanging out with us while we talk about Shakespeare's Hamlet and, how he can truly understand the human condition with such a chaotic story.
Such a cool play. Such a cool podcast that I could be a part of. So, later, guys. And if you enjoyed our content, please make sure to subscribe. And if you want to see more crazy stuff like this, we'll see you later.
Thank you, Miss Grella.